Yes, good morning, my dear students, beloved candidates, and highly competent examinees. I once again welcome you to this third session for 3 subject English, the lesson or the 12th chapter entitled Two Gentlemen of Verona, written by A.J. Cronin. So, in the last session, that is session 2, we have been in detail discussing about the two boys and their difficulties, their chaotic conditions, their miserable conditions, and their hard and arduous works amidst all these chaos and confusion, toil and turmoil. So, in the second session, part 2, so we discussed in detail about their arrival in Poleta. So, they were driven by the narrator himself to Poleta. So, you have clearly understood and comprehended the panoramic scene, that is the picturesque village, Poleta. Thereafter, the narrator's imagination and contemplation. So, after arriving at a massive, large, and magnificent building, that is the hospital where Lucia was hospitalized. So, when they arrived at the admittance, that is hospital, as I said, infirmary. So, we have seen how these two boys leaped nimbly out of the car, but keeping their courtesy, they had promised and assured the narrator that they would not make unnecessary delay. So, they also requested him to make his own arrangements to wait for them for an hour. So, after their departure, we also discussed what the narrator had done. The narrator found a grilled side entrance into the hospital. So, these things we have been discussing in detail. So, the narrator coming across the appearance of a trained nurse and listening to her assurances, and the narrator was accompanied by her, and she had given him all assistance. She had taken him inside the hospital through the corridor, showing him the well equipped wards, and after that reaching the southern balcony from where they could see spacious and wonderful gardens and the deep blue lake beneath. So, finally, they arrived at the end point. So, they stood beside the window pane. She asked him to look through the glass partition. When he looked through the glass partition, he could see, so whatever that had taken place by Lucia's bedside, and others sitting in her accompaniment and chit-chatting with their sister. So, after looking through the glass partition for a long time, so the narrator feels very happy, and he comes away from the glass partition and requests the trained nurse to give him a description relating to their life history, their career, their confidential matters, their secret issues, and also their systematic plans. So the nurse kept explaining. She gave a vivid description. So you have studied. I have given you a substantial information, a detailed information. So she kept on explaining, describing, narrating all that had taken place in their lives, how they had been thrown to the streets, how they became orphans, how they became houseless, parentless, and how their house had been destroyed, how they had horribly suffered in their lives from near starvation, and also being exposed to the cold and freezing Veronian winter, so living and surviving themselves in a makeshift house which looked almost like a army bunker. So later arrives once again the German elite god. So the German elite god commits aggression on Verona. It occupies Verona and establishes its headquarters there. And they had been ruling the city for 3 horrendous years, and they had ruled the city for about 3 years recklessly with ruthless severity. So the nurse went on giving all these details. Finally, so what happens? These boys had to join. These boys had to join the forces of liberation, and they had to serve the liberation movement as secret agents, collecting information secretly, working as spies or secret agents, so carrying information to the forces of liberation. So after 3 years of their dreadful rule, the German elite god retreated from Verona's soil. So they have been evacuated. So that is the effect of the truce, TRUC, truce they agreed upon. So whereby ceasefire had been declared, peace prevailed, and after all these tragic incidents and developments and complicated circumstances, the two boys come home. When they came home, to their fear, fright, and nervousness, their sister was found suffering from a chronic disease. She had been suffering from tuberculosis of the spine. So that gave them a big shock. So that these are the dirty games, cunning games played by the fate or the destiny, which worsened their lives, which deteriorated their lives. So all these things we have seen in detail, you have understood vividly. I hope you are able to answer. So whatever question that comes or in between that arises, so I hope you are in a sound position, you have a sound mind in a sound body, a vibrant mind in a vibrant body, so you are able to answer all these questions. I have confidence you I hope you have self-confidence. So you are self-reliant. You are able, stable and durable in your lives. So I want you to work continuously, constantly and consistently like our two young and energetic boys, that is Nicola and Jacopo. So today, before commencing our revision work, so this revision, this revision, we are doing revision today. So revision is like what? It is like rehabilitation. So coming back to the German elite god. So what did the German elite god do? So they committed aggression, occupied Verona and established their headquarters. So at the end of their rule, whatever rule, dreadful rule, so they left Verona. So what did the people of Verona feel? They felt greatly relieved and rehabilitated. So that is like this. Revision is like rehabilitation. Okay, it's not feeling relieved. It is like rehabilitation. Okay, suppose you take, when I say revision is like rejuvenation. Revision is like rejuvenation. How did Lucia feel after undergoing continuous treatment for 12 months, for about a year? Okay, so what happened? So one day she is going to become alright. She will be relieved and really rehabilitated. And she is going to walk and sing again. So what does that indicate? It is like rejuvenation. So revision is like rejuvenation. So revision is also like what we call renovation. How to get our experiences renovated. How to get our knowledge enlarged, enlargement of knowledge, enrichment of vocabulary. Understand? So that is renovation. So we undertake renovation of our house. So when do we undertake renovation of our house? When its walls are worn and torn, corroded and eroded, we undertake renovation. So we think of altering some portions of our house. So you plan for the enlargement of our already built house. So that comes under renovation. So revision is like renovation, getting renovated. That is to make our studies systematic, thinking in a scientific way, not in an unscientific way. So most of the time, okay, we ignore things. So negligence crops up in our minds and hearts and in our souls. That has to be work that we have to work on. Otherwise, it will overwhelm us. Understand? So see that there is no compromise relating to studies. It is an asset. Okay, that's why we say success comes to those who dare and act. And we say work is the real worship. Work is the authentic worship. Work is the authentic worship. Work is the genuine worship. So it has to be practiced. It has to be thought of. It has to be analyzed. So that is what we say, think before ink. So before you start writing, it has to be thought well. It has to be practiced well. It has to be learnt well. It has to be studied well. So we should make a lot of references. And we should do a lot of conferences. So that is why today I undertake revision work. So before proceeding to this revision work, let me tell you one joke. Let me crack a joke, a simple joke, a one-line or two-line joke. So my dear students, would you like to go to Verona? Are you planning a trip to Verona? As we say, it is an historical and mythological town in Italy. Hundreds and thousands and lakhs of people throng the city. day in, day out. So are you planning to go to Verona? Would you like to venture into Verona? Okay, before venturing into Verona, think twice or thrice. If you go to Verona, you have to contact and consult Corona. Be careful, be precautious. As we say, prevention is better than cure. No, precaution is better than prevention. That is an advanced step. You know that? Okay, I have a comprehensive hope in your, okay, faith, in your faithfulness, in your sincerity, in your diligence, in your devotion. Correct? Okay, I hope you understand things. So don't go to Verona to contact and consult Corona. And don't mistake cornea for Corona. If you have any doubt or suspicion, you read the novel. You read the novel. You go through the novel. You browse through the novel. Anna Karenina. Anna Karenina. So the name of the novel, Anna Karenina, written by an eminent Russian writer, Count Leo Tolstoy. So coming back to the revision issue, coming back to the revision question, first look into page number 101, chapter 12, entitled Two Gentlemen of Verona. You know very well, the two gentlemen of Verona are Nicola and Jacopo. That stands as an epithet. Okay. So in the first paragraph, we come across 2 points. So where did the narrator and his companion first meet Nicola and Jacopo? So what answer you are going to write? Look at that first paragraph. So the narrator and his companion first met. Where did they meet? That is the structure in question. So what structure, altered structure you are going to write in the answer? So the narrator and his companion met Nicola and Jacopo on the outskirts of Verona. So that is catchy. Okay. So that is the answer, right answer. So in the same paragraph, you come across fruits told by them. So what were they doing there? What were they doing there? What were they doing? Were doing, were plus doing. So what do you write? They were selling fruits. They have been selling fruits. They were selling fruits. They had been selling fruits. You know what kind of fruits are they? Wild strawberries, bright scarlet berries. They had been selling. So coming back to page number 102. So you come across many points, many related points, step by step, paragraph after paragraph. So here we have the car driver Luigi. How did Luigi react? What was his reaction? What did he say to the narrator and author? So you look into that specific paragraph. So he cautioned. Whom did he caution? The narrator and his companion. What caution had he given? Not to buy fruit from them. Why did he do so? They are going to get better fruit, much better than that in the town. After cautioning them in this, with his destructive mind, he also shrugged his shoulders. Why did he shrug his shoulders? Look at the points outlined. What did he do? He shrugged his shoulders. Why did he shrug his shoulders? To convey his disapproval of their shabby appearance. So there lies the point for the next question. So moving forward to the another paragraph, so we came across the points that prove, that substantiate, that justify their shabby appearance. Excluding this point, we shall move further. So, what discovery or exploration did the narrator's companion do? So, he spoke with the two boys. He deliberately spoke with the two boys. He volunteered. So, when he deliberately spoke with the two boys, so he came to know, he discovered that they were brothers. That is the point. He discovered that they were brothers. He explored that they were brothers. This is the point in what he had made. Now that is a lovely development. Of course, we agree with it, if you don't mind. So I can call you brilliant boys, able, stable and durable boys. You are like Nicola and Jacopo, and energetic and robust. So we say success comes to those who dare and act. I have every hope in you. You are going to act with boldness, with braveness. So you are all gallant students. So that is the real studentship. That is the real resourcefulness. So these developments have taken place. After what happened, they proceeded. Where did they proceed to? To the town. I told you, historical and mythological town. So with its splendid and spectacular buildings, spacious and architectural bridges, eventually which were destroyed in the war. So this town is world famous for some historical events and incidents. So you have studied that there, that city, okay, is world famous. So you know that Romeo and Juliet are reputed to have lived there. This is a big attraction. Oh, what a nice development. Okay. So that is one of the points that you should look into. Then coming back to the next incident. So the narrator and his companion could see them sitting beside the fountain in the public square, bending their heads over shoe shining boxes and doing shoe shining services to their customers. So this is the next point. So after that, the narrator says Nicola and Jacopo could be relied upon. He tells Nicola and Jacopo could be relied upon. So why were they relied upon? To satisfy their needs. So what services did they render to the narrator? So if they want a pack of American cigarettes or seats for the opera or a good restaurant that could provide good ravioli. So these two boys were relied upon to satisfy their needs. So that is the another point which you have to make out, which you have to realize, which you have to understand. Then coming back to what did Nicola and Jacopo do during those hot summer days and long cold winter evenings? What did they do? Did they keep quiet? Did they take rest? Did they ignore their works? So they hadn't ignored. They hadn't showed their negligence. Under those adverse conditions, these two boys went on working, doing their usual works. Okay, what did they do? They shined shoes, they sold fruit, they ran errands, they took tickets for the opera, they hawked newspapers, they undertook rounds for the tourists, and they recommended better lodging and boarding facilities to the visitors and whatnot. So they had done everything under those adverse climatic conditions. Then comes, what were Nicola and Jacobo? Why were Nicola and Jacobo staying overnight in a windy and deserted square beneath the pale arc lights? So that at that precarious time, at that haunting and daunting time, it is almost midnight. So they were held up beneath the pale arc lights in a deserted square. So what were they doing at that time and juncture? So they had been waiting for the bus to come from Padua, so that they can sell all their newspapers to the incoming passengers or commuters to Padua. So that was their idea. That's why they were held up. Next comes, the narrator is strongly attracted by their remarkable demeanor, but he has in his mind one great displeasure with regard to the brothers, though they earn a lot of money. So though they earn a lot of money, so the narrator felt displeased. He had that great displeasure. They earn a lot of money, they make a lot of money, they amass a lot of income, they are hoarding money. But what was narrator's displeasure? Why was he displeased? Because they spend nothing on their clothes. They spend nothing on better foodstuffs. They were seen always eating the black bread and pigs. Pigs means not swines. This is the name of the fruits. How to spell this word? F-I-G-H, not P-I-G-H. Pigs, P-I-G-S means pigs means andigalu. Pigs means swines, andigalu. But the name of the fruit, pigs, F-I-G-S. That is the right term you have to make out. So that is his great displeasure. And the last question is, though Nicola expressed his unwillingness, he expressed his unwillingness. When he was expressing his unwillingness, suddenly Jacobo's nostrils quivered. His nostrils quivered like a puppy's. His nostrils quivered like a puppy's. So he spoke like a puppy. He uttered like a puppy. Something he wanted to say is saying. Something he wanted to utter, he uttered. Something he wants to declare, he declared. Something he wants to pronounce, he pronounced. What did he say? So that has to be substantiated. So he says that every Sunday, so they make a visit to the country, to Poleta, which is 30 kilometers away from the city square. So they usually hire bicycles to travel to Poleta. Since the narrator is kind enough, so he might send them in his car. So in this way substantiated. So it is a simple thing. Okay. So these are the 12 questions I have set on part 1. I hope you have better knowledge, you have that comprehension power, and you are going to answer all these questions genuinely, accurately, and systematically. Saying these few words and giving these few suggestions, I wish you all the best. Thank you very much. God bless you. All the best.